we will always look at our own history from a self-loathing perspective. I'm not saying let us whitewash all the problems with our history, let us whitewash everything that was perhaps indefensible as far as our history is concerned. But we must avoid falling into the trap of presentism, which is to say, judging the past on the anvils of the present is never ever going to show the past in good light. And as a process, as a consequence of which, you will always have, let's say, a sort of a complex when you look at your past, and you will continue to believe that you are an inheritor of, let's say, a savage civilization or an inherently caste civilization, which is as far from the truth as it gets. Let me be very, very blunt, and I borrow words from some of my friends who are better informed than me. Everything of ancient India which continues to survive, right from temples to monuments to everything, is the contribution of the Shudra. The Shudras have built this country. The Shudras are single-handedly responsible for everything of beauty that this country has seen. And unfortunately, we don't understand the concept of Shudra. We don't understand who's part of the particular community. Everything, right from every monument, everything that has been chiseled and carved and sculpted is the contribution of the Shudra of this country. That is a fact. And we rob them of their respect. We rob them of their dignity by constantly telling them that your ancestors were never given a place of dignity and they were constantly oppressed and crushed. This is as far from the truth as it gets. Okay, there may have been certain instances in certain phases of our history where certain communities were subjected to oppression, but that is true of even today, and that is true of every society where somebody who's in a position of power will constantly try to hold on to that particular position, and there'll always be someone who's at the receiving end of that particular power structure and the power imbalance. However, to say that somebody has been at the same situation for 7,000 years is ahistoric and is completely illogical. This is something that we must try and understand. The more we read our own histories in our own languages through people who have actually taken the pains to correct all of it. See, unfortunately, I haven't seen too many books on history which have been translated from Bengali and Tamil and presented to students of history. It's somebody who's, books which have been authored in Columbia, books which have been authored in Stanford, books which have been authored in Harvard that are being presented to Indians, as opposed to books that ought to be translated from native languages.